Hi Drito, it's the 2nd of September 2012. I'll do an update video tomorrow about what I'm going to do about the end of the August challenge. But for now, time. Part 5. So yesterday was the first episode of Doctor Who for this series, which makes no sense in the first place since Doctor Who normally finishes in June or July, but I guess they want to change things up schedule-wise. Anyway, the episode was pretty good and it set up a pretty good storyline for the rest of the series. However, I thought the same about last year's first episode, and sadly I was disappointed with the end of the series. But anyway, Doctor Who got me thinking about time travel. I remember when I was about 7 I wrote a book about building a time machine. I've looked around for it but I can't find it, it's probably in the loft or something. I was interested in the time travel as soon as I heard of the concept. Just something about it that appeals to me. From the science behind it, to the philosophical paradoxes that occur. Just seems really cool, though it's probably impossible. Firstly, the sciencey bit. Just to put out a warning, this is entirely hypothetical since no one really knows about time travel. Wormholes are one way of time travel occurring. They are theoretically possible, but whether they're stable enough for something to pass through it is an entirely different question. Similarly, black holes and cosmic strings may hold an answer, but for now, it's simple speculation. Then, we come to travelling faster than light. Though Einstein technically never ruled it out, from what I can tell there's a barrier. Some sort of blockade that stops something accelerating or decelerating to light speed. Most people quote the formula equals mc squared over the square root of 1 minus v squared over c squared. They say you can't reach the speed of light because if v is larger than c, then you get the root of a negative number. But like any decent mathematician knows, imaginary numbers do exist. Just because we can't describe the other things on the barrier because we just can't reach it or observe it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that anything beyond the barrier exists, it just means that something could exist. Anyway, the formula only breaks down when v equals c, since then you get E equals mc squared over 0, so energy equals infinity. Therefore it requires an infinite amount of energy to reach light speed. Whether that's speeding up or slowing down is mathematically irrelevant. I think that pretty much covers the physics side of things. Now, onto paradoxes. There are a couple of standard paradoxes that I'm sure you've heard of. For example, the grandfather paradox, when you go back in time and kill your grandfather before your parents were conceived, so you could never be conceived, so you could never go back in time to kill him in the first place. Fermi's paradox is asking the question why future travellers have never come back to our time and given us any advice or anything like that, or even just observed us in any way. Link in the description on a song about it. Though these paradoxes are cool to ponder over, they're not actually that interesting. Yeah, they're okay for a story or two, but that's about it. That's why I like Doctor Who, it just ignores these paradoxes, for the most part. Whether that's intentional or not is probably debatable. I think these paradoxes take away the true beauty of time travel. Just imagine going to the past and watch the entire universe form. Going through Earth's history and seeing humans evolve and seeing the greatest minds on the planet that ever lived. Or going into the future and finding what human endeavour reaches. And perhaps that's why I like science so much. It answers these questions. We can look into the Hubble telescope. I think they've upgraded onto a new telescope now, but the point still stands. We can look into these telescopes and see the first galaxies being formed, stars dying right before our eyes. Archaeology and history unlocks the mysteries of the past. And well, future travel is something that we can't venture into and can only speculate. But it is, however, the only thing that we can actually control. And that's why I get so angry when others deny the beauty of knowledge and science. But anyway, Adruto, see you tomorrow. Also, I was only able to watch the first 15 minutes originally, and then I had to go out. But after rewatching it, the first 15 minutes just seemed to go so much faster. I've experienced this before. The first time you watch something, it seems to go a lot slower than the second or subsequent times you watch it. Maybe because your brain knows what's going on, but I think it's quite interesting.